How you doing? I'm Callan and this is Slapped Ham. Today we're looking at some super creepy things that have been caught on camera that are starting to freak the internet out. So hit that subscribe button and get ready for more creepy content. Just like this. When geneticist Neil Gemmell first went on his expedition to Loch Ness, he probably didn't expect to find anything too out of the ordinary. However, he was in for a shock when he reviewed the last bit of his underwater footage. While he may not have stumbled upon the fabled prehistoric plesiosaur that is said to stalk the depths of the Scottish lake, he was still able to find something truly surprising. In this short clip, we can see a fish slowly making its way towards the camera. While this may seem innocuous at first, it later becomes clear that the fish is swimming away from something. Watch what happens. As you can see, a long tentacle or eel-like creature makes its way through the background. According to the scientist, it's more likely that Nessie is a large eel rather than some prehistoric dinosaur, and he points to this video as proof. Furthermore, for the myth to have persisted for so long, he figures that several of these eel-like creatures must call Loch Ness home. Although the legend of Loch Ness Monster traces its roots to Irish missionaries in the region in the 6th century, the modern image of this creature has primarily been informed by the reports of Scottish journalists in the 1930s. Taken in 1938, the iconic surgeon's photo depicts a silhouette of what appeared to be a large creature in Loch Ness. The authenticity of this photo was later debunked. It turns out it was just a toy submarine. Nonetheless, the image ignited a worldwide passion for the creature, and many people still travel to Loch Ness in the hope of catching a glimpse of this ancient beast. So if there truly are a breeding population of undiscovered eels down in the depths of Loch Ness, then where did they come from, and why have they eluded scientists for so long? This strange little TikTok was uploaded by Animal Wiki. It was allegedly filmed in a rural mountain range in Japan. Watch what was caught on camera. The clip is only brief, but shows a small dragon-like creature swimming in a stream. While the majority of viewers think the clip is just a hoax, it's strange that cultures all around the world have dragons embedded in their mythology. For thousands of years, disparate civilizations across the globe have believed in dragons in some form or another. In medieval Europe, dragons were large winged, fire-breathing creatures to be conquered on quests. However, in ancient China, dragons were believed to control the weather, guarding heaven and earth against outside forces. So why were these creatures believed to be real for so long? Could there be a thread of truth running through the mythology of these ancient cultures? Adrian Mayer, a professor at Stanford University, believes that fossilized dinosaur bones may have seeded folk tales about dragons and other legendary beasts like griffins. Ancient cultures around the world most likely encountered dinosaur bones, then verbal stories and written tales would have perpetuated the myths about dragons. So while this short clip is most likely fake, it's interesting to see how new mediums spring up that help perpetuate myths and legends around the world even today. When YouTuber caught on tape began to hear strange noises around his house, he decided to investigate. Armed with only his camera, he carefully followed the sounds to their source. The video begins just as the YouTuber hears some strange noises that seem to be coming from the attic.
You hear that? Listen. Since I've been back, most nights I've been hearing noises in my attic. And tonight, the noises have been the worst.
In the video's description, he notes that he believes some sort of creature has taken up residence in his home, and judging by the tone of his voice, he certainly seems to be a little scared.
Hear that? I haven't been hearing the noises outside as much. You hear that? Listen.
Though a little reluctant, he continues to explore, hoping to capture evidence of the creature on camera. Even the YouTuber's cat seems nervous as the sounds continue emanating from the ceiling above.
Been in there yet? Kitty, what are you doing? Cat never goes up there unless it's freaked out. Kitty, what are you doing?
The YouTuber heads into the attic with just the light of the camera to illuminate his way.
Hello? Hello?
Suddenly, a terrifying noise pierces the darkness.
I think it's just a raccoon.
The YouTuber nervously pans the camera around, hoping to capture a glimpse of whatever it is making the horrible noises. Then, as the camera passes a dark nook of the attic, we see something horrifying. Take a look. As you can see, there seems to be some kind of creature blending into its surroundings. Whatever it is, it has very little in the way of facial features on its pale, sallow skin. Viewers of the video have suggested that the creature looks like an alien, or possibly some kind of mutant.
Oh my God!
While this certainly could be the case, the footage is far from conclusive. Perhaps it was simply a pile of junk that looked like a ghoulish creature. That said, this theory does little to explain the horrifying screeching sounds.
Oh my God!
Whatever the creature is, its presence likely has this homeowner too scared to return for a second look.
Oh my God!
These clips were posted to TikTok by a username WV Paranormal. In August 2021, the uploader's young family was out in the backyard playing in the garden when something eerie happened. In the clip, the mum asks her kids to come in for bath time. She obviously gets a weird feeling and points the camera over at some trees. Watch what she captured. At first, it's a bit difficult to see, but if you look closely, you should be able to make out what appears to be a figure looming in the trees. It seems to be watching the kids playing around outside. The very next day, the mother spots the figure again. Watch.
Oh my God, nobody is gonna ever believe this. Alright, we're going back inside.
As you can see, the same bizarre tall figure can be seen standing right behind a shed. It seems to have a featureless grey face.
Alright, we're going back inside.
The family has no idea what's going on. They aren't sure if it's a trespasser watching their kids or if it's something a little more mysterious. What's your take on this, and what would you do if you saw someone watching your family from a distance? Let me know down below.
Shit. Alright, we're going back inside.
TikTok user Cryptid Chronicles has uploaded a video that shows a holidaymaker going about their day at an American ski resort when they happen to notice a large group of fellow skiers and snowboarders gathered near the edge of the tree line. The clip shows the faint silhouette of a vaguely human-shaped creature in the forest. According to the uploader, the animal was between 8 and 10 feet tall. As the camera holder zooms in, the large figure remains relatively stationary, but it seems to be manipulating something with its hands. A Accounts of mythical giant apes have appeared all across the world and throughout much of recorded history. Many names have been ascribed to these beasts. Sasquatch and Bigfoot tend to be the most common names for cryptid apes in the United States, and dozens of sightings occur every year. Some scientists and cryptid enthusiasts believe that certain human ancestors or relatives could have survived into the modern era. They might be just so intelligent that they've continued to elude capture. However, if these intelligent creatures are truly roaming the wilderness, then it's only a matter of time until someone gathers more concrete evidence. In June 2021, TikTok user Claxatax uploaded the following piece of footage, and it's been confusing and creeping out viewers ever since. Take a look.
What the hell is that? Hey!
As you can see, some kind of large bipedal figure is walking slowly across the man's yard.
What the hell is that? Hey!
The uploader's pet dog is clearly on guard too, as it watches the mysterious figure from a distance.
What the hell is that? Hey!
The TikToker was at a loss to explain the sighting, and it left viewers wondering whether it was a trespasser or something more mysterious. Several days later, Claxatax gave a video update about the sighting.
I looked over and I saw it from behind that swing set out of the woods, walked over behind that truck, or to that truck, and went behind it into the woods. I don't know what it was. It was brownish red in person. We have a street light, so I figured it'd pick up better. Apologize for the quality. Apparently zooming in at night will make any phones. I haven't seen it since, and hopefully I won't, but I still don't know if it was a person or a thing. Whatever it was big, and it was in my yard, and I don't like that.
So he's not seen the figure since, nor does he have any idea what it could have been. Theories in the comments section ranged from a Wendigo to a ghost or even a skinwalker. Skinwalkers are mysterious entities that have their origins in Navajo folklore. They're said to be shamans that conjure black magic. They use their powers to shapeshift into animals and even other humans to lure their victims in before brutally murdering them. There's actually very limited information on skinwalkers because Navajo people tend not to talk about the creatures to outsiders. So could this really be a skinwalker? Or is there another, more simple explanation? Drop your theories in the comment section down below.
What the hell is that? Hey!
Few humans have the extraterrestrial reputation of Stan Romanek. Romanek claims that he's had numerous encounters with aliens, including abductions, telepathic communications, and even forced interbreeding to create alien hybrid children. This video is supposedly evidence of one of his alien encounters. The story goes that on the night this footage was captured, Romanek had fallen asleep at his computer, while his stepson was having a sleepover with some friends. Something woke him in the middle of the night. In a sleepy haze, he thought he saw one of the young partygoers streak through the house naked. However, when he checked on the children, all of them were upstairs asleep. Just when he was about to give up his search, he spotted something terrifying at his sliding glass door. Watch. As you can see, the creature looks remarkably similar to the one we were talking about earlier in this video. It has grey skin and dark almond-shaped eyes. Again, much like the typical aliens seen in pop culture. It watches motionless from the doorway, even as the camera is pointed straight at it. So what do you think? Are Romanek's claims that he's had close encounters with extraterrestrials the real deal? This video has been analysed by numerous experts, but the jury is still out as to its authenticity. Sticking with mysterious creatures, although this next one is almost certainly not CGI. It was uploaded to the Facebook group Weird, Fantastic and Odd Things by Max Jack. This bizarre looking snake was found in Thailand by a local resident who took it home and fed it fish. The snake looks to be covered in green fur. Some comments suggested it might be some kind of algae growing on the snake's skin. The person who discovered the bizarre snake is going to hand the creature over to authorities for research and identification. So until then, all we can do is marvel at this mysterious animal. Our first segment of the day has some internet users debating whether werewolves really do exist. In May 2022, Reddit user Segwin shared a photo to the platform that seems to show something truly odd. The photo was captured on a game camera that takes pics automatically when movement is detected. The camera is positioned at an 8-foot high perimeter fence at Amarillo Zoo in Texas. In the photo, which was snapped in the early hours of the morning, you can see a bipedal figure standing to the right. It looks to be covered in fur and has the features of a canine, yet it appears to be walking on its hind legs. It's these details that spurred some Reddit users to call this figure a werewolf. The shocked groundskeeper shared the photo to Reddit, hoping to get some answers from the community. Responses varied, with some wholeheartedly agreeing that the figure does indeed look like a werewolf, while others weren't quite convinced. Some suggested it could be a raccoon or even a piece of trash that's blown up against the fence. Ultimately though, no one's been able to fully identify the figure, so unless more evidence comes to hand, this bizarre sighting will have to remain a mystery. Chris runs a popular urban exploration channel called Urbex Hill. He frequently uploads videos of himself exploring buildings from around the world that are allegedly haunted, including schools, churches, cemeteries, and in the case of this video, the old St. Joseph Riverside Hospital located in Warren, Ohio. Built in the early 1960s, the St. Joseph Riverside Hospital was successful in its initial years, but in 1996 the hospital was officially shut down after HM Health Services assumed ownership of the Warren General Hospital. It was eventually purchased by Jim and Tom Dobson in 2003, who converted it into a few different businesses, including a private school, but eventually bankruptcy forced it to close. Ever since then, it's remained totally abandoned. Throughout the video, Chris walks around the old hospital and explores its various rooms, which have definitely seen better days. For the most part, all seems to go well for Chris. Up until about the 8-minute mark, that is. Take a look and see if you can spot anything unusual. It can be hard to see at first, but watching that again, keep an eye on the doorway on the left. A strange dark hand appears to come out. This has understandably freaked plenty of viewers out who have since been debating whether or not this is a person, a ghost, or even some sort of cryptid. The most common suggestion is that it may have been a homeless person, but how is it that Chris didn't hear or see anything as he explored the building? Obviously, no definitive answer has ever been given, but it's certainly an unsettling piece of footage nonetheless. A few months ago, we featured an eerie TikTok video by a user named Old Fogey John that seemed to show some sort of strange figure lingering around a backyard. The account has uploaded another video that's just as eerie. The uploader says that recently he's been finding strange holes appearing in his garage door. He checked his security camera footage to see what was going on, but when he reviewed the footage that was recorded overnight, he was stunned at what he saw. Take a look. A bizarre figure seems to be breaking pieces of the uploader's door. It appears to be the same figure from the first video we featured. To this day, the uploader has no idea whether that's a person, an animal, or something else entirely. As always, I'll throw this out to you, the viewer. What do you think that is? Let me know your theories in the comments section down below. There's probably many animals on this planet you've never seen in person before, and likely some that no one has ever seen. But what are the odds that one would be lying in the middle of the sidewalk? That's a question that many people have been asking since this bizarre photo and video clip started making its rounds on the internet. A man named Harry Hayes, who spotted it while jogging one morning in Sydney, Australia, first posted it to Instagram. There had been a lot of rain in the area and even some flooding, but Hayes states that the particular area where he found this creature wasn't flooded at all. The creature is small and looks slimy. It's grey in colour and its skin looks to be semi-transparent. It seems to have small black eyes and a long tail. In the photo, its body shape is hard to make out, but it looks curled up. This has led many to believe that it's some sort of fetus, perhaps that of a sea creature, that washed ashore when the area was flooded. However, scientists who have seen the photo and the clip have been unable to identify the creature. Biologist Ellie Alyssa, who also shared the mysterious photo to Instagram, was stunned and at a loss to explain the creature. Even her colleagues were unable to identify the animal. So is this a cryptid, a mutant, some sort of alien? As of right now, this odd-looking creature remains unidentified. Cryptids are animals that are claimed to exist but have never been scientifically classified. The footage you're about to see, which was submitted to the Facebook group Alter Extranitza by Alberto Rodriguez, shows a creature so strange it not only falls outside the realms of scientific classification, it almost defies explanation. It's not known exactly where the clip was filmed, but some think it's somewhere in South America. It starts off showing two farmers that seem a little on edge.
Por el agua, pero no es así. Tiene esa cabra de ahí agarrado en el cuello. Pongan atención a eso.
They seem to be particularly cautious of one of the goats.
Véanlo.
It's brief, but we can see something has attached itself to one of the goats.
Mírenlo. ¿Qué es eso que tiene guindado aquí?
Here it is slowed down. It almost looks like an enormous bat. Seconds later, things turn from strange to outright creepy. Take a look.
Ahí, mírenlo. Mírenlo ahí.
Watching that again, the creature detaches itself from the goat and tries to escape across the yard, but as it does, it seems to resemble a thin shadow slithering along the ground.
Mírenlo ahí.
Here it is, slowed down. The farmers chase the creature to a nearby river where they try to drive it off the property.
Miren al detalle, porque miren lo que va a pasar ahí. Miren eso. Vean, ahí lo persiguen hacia el agua.
Later, we see a brief shot from a stationary camera showing the creature crawl across a rock.
Veanlo. Ellos dejan la cámara ahí quietecita y mírenlo donde lo encuentran.
The clip ends and we're left wondering what the heck it is we just saw. Most viewers have been at a loss to explain what type of creature this is. Some have suggested the chupacabra, a famous cryptid rooted in South American folklore. They're notorious for their alleged vampirism, as many farmers have reported that they drink the blood of livestock, particularly goats. While the initial shot of the creature in this clip does match some descriptions of the chupacabra, a large head with fangs and bat-like ears, it's when it escapes across the yard that things get even more difficult to explain. How does the creature go from looking like a large bat to a thin, slithering shadow?
Mírenlo ahí.
This is a question that no one's been able to answer. Short of this footage being a very well executed hoax, this strange encounter will have to remain a complete mystery.
Mírenlo. Mírenlo ahí. Veanlo. Ellos dejan la cámara ahí quietecita y mírenlo donde lo encuentran.
¿Qué te pasa?
This next one is some strange footage captured in Paraguay. It was uploaded to YouTube by The Rocket 3. This mother was recording her son when she inadvertently caught something unnerving in the background. Take a look.
¿Qué es lo que vos estabas haciendo recién? Decime. ¿Eh?
Some kind of unknown creature can be seen in the background behind a tree.
¿Qué es lo que vos estabas haciendo recién? Decime. ¿Eh?
If you slow it down and zoom in, you can see a long limb stretching outward.
Decime. Huh?
Two dogs clearly notice that there's something back there.
Tengo sueño. ¿Quién te enseña a hacer esas cosas?
¿Qué?
¿Quién te enseña a hacer esas cosas?
¿Dónde?
Naturally, people in the comments section were freaked out by the odd sighting, and as the views racked up, hundreds of viewers speculated on what the creature might be. Many thought it was an alien, while others said it had to be a cryptid of some kind. The pombero was a common suggestion. The pombero is a mythical creature from Argentine and Paraguayan folklore. It's described as a small, hairy, human-like creature that lurks in the woods and steals chickens. The pombero is also said to play tricks on humans, such as hiding their belongings or making strange noises in the night. Some say they lurk in the shadows of woodland areas, often luring children in with berries and other treats, before dragging them off into the forest, never to be seen again. A more down-to-earth theory on this video suggested it could be a sloth. The brown-throated three-toed sloth is found throughout Brazil, Paraguay and Ecuador.
¿Eh?
So what do you think this is? An alien, a cryptid, or is it simply a delightful sloth coming for a visit? Let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments down below.
Decime. ¿Eh?
In November 2021, an Oregon local was driving down a rural road at nighttime with their grandkids when they spotted something eerie on the side of the road. They uploaded the strange footage to their TikTok account, Carolanan1984, for all to see.
What'd you see? What? What's behind that?
Nana, what is that?
As you can see, a shadowy figure is lurking behind a tree on the side of the road.
Nana, what is that?
The uploader has no idea what it is and with good reason didn't want to approach it to find out.
What's behind that tree?
When the footage went live, it quickly went viral, racking up millions of views, with thousands of comments speculating on the strange sighting.
What is that?
Some said it was a Sasquatch, a skinwalker, a shadow person, or even just a creepy person lurking in a hoodie. Given that the uploader was with their grandkids, none of these suggestions bode well. One of the most suggested theories is a hide-behind. Hide-behinds are mysterious beings rooted in North American folklore. Accounts from early settlers tell of loggers going missing while out in the woods. Woodcutters were failing to return to camp en masse and villagers blamed the hide-behinds. Legends say they're nocturnal creatures with the ability to conceal themselves behind almost any object. They're said to hunt humans for food, with their diet mainly consisting of innards. The Oregon sighting certainly does match the description of a hide-behind in many ways. So could this be one of the first real pieces of evidence that these legendary cryptids really do exist?
Nana, what is that?
An Instagram account named Scariest Cryptid uploaded a mysterious piece of home surveillance camera footage that was filmed on August 23, 2021 at an undisclosed location. The homeowner received a text that movement had been detected outside their house. This is what they saw. As you can see, there's an emaciated person walking strangely through the yard. Their limbs are extremely thin. Most commenters thought that this was someone on drugs wandering the property and that the homeowner should have called the police. There's no info on whether the uploader eventually notified the authorities or not. What would you do if you saw this in the middle of the night on your home security feed? Let me know down below. In August of 2010, the Japan Agency for Marine Earth Science and Technology was conducting a deep-sea dive when they filmed something mysterious in the waters of Sagami Bay, southwest of Tokyo. As the Hyperdolphin ROV explored the murky depths, cameras were rolling, capturing images of the deep-sea habitat. At first, everything seems fairly normal. Suddenly, out of the gloomy abyss, an unidentified creature appears. Its large, wide eyes are dotted just above a gaping mouth. The creature's solid frame disappears into the cloudy background. When the footage first surfaced, it went viral around the world, with news outlets running stories that a new type of deep-sea species had been spotted. Some experts weren't so sure, however, speculating that it might actually be a case of pareidolia, the human tendency to see familiar shapes in patterned imagery. It's entirely possible that this is just a rock with two well-placed shells, giving our brains the impression that a creature with a face is present. However, in the footage, it does appear as though the object moves. So what do you think? Is this some kind of deep-sea cryptid that's yet to be classified by modern science? Or is there a simpler explanation? Let us know your take in the comments section down below. This next piece of footage, posted to TikTok by user MadRFCKRS, is rather creepy. It was supposedly captured somewhere in the Philippines. However, not much else is known about the clip. Take a look. As you can see, there's some kind of creature moving on the rooftop. It's dark outside and the camera only manages to capture glimpses. Yet, for the low light, you can see it fairly clearly. It appears to be humanoid. Its eyes look like they glow in the dark, likely reflecting the light of the camera. Its skin looks grey and it moves as though it's on its hands and knees. Despite the creature's rather creepy appearance, several viewers think that it might be simply a naked man. However, if this is the case, it doesn't really lower the creep factor. What would you prefer to see crawling around on your roof? An unknown cryptid or a naked man with unknown intentions? Let me know down below. Our last clip of the day comes from Facebook user Chayla Kelly. In 2017, Kelly was filming a quick update for her socials when she noticed something odd in the background of one of the clips. Take a look and see if you can spot anything unusual. If we watch that again, slowed down, you can make out several little dark figures running through the grass. They almost look like meerkats running by. Kelly said they looked like black shadows and had no idea what they could be. The clip blew up on Facebook, hitting over 1 million views, with hundreds of comments speculating on what the odd little figures might be. Some said it could be little people. According to Native American folklore, there exists a race of little people that live deep in the woods, often near rocky outcrops or sandy hills and sometimes along secluded streams. They're said to be mischievous, singing and calling out while hiding just to confuse passing travelers. While these beings are widely believed to only exist in tales of myth and legend, back in the early 1830s, a burial ground was discovered in Coshocton County, Ohio. It's said that the unearthed graves contained skeletons that were only 3 feet high. So could this clip be proof that the legendary little people really do exist? Or is there a more simple explanation here? Share your theories with one another in the comments down below. Are we alone in the universe? This is a question that has fascinated humankind for centuries. If this video uploaded to the YouTube channel Paranormal Witness is anything to go by, it seems that the answer to this question is no. There's very little accompanying information other than the footage was supposedly captured somewhere in the state of Massachusetts in the United States. The clip, which was captured at night, shows a young girl walking down the steps of what is presumably their home. She's not alone, however, as an unidentified camera holder follows closely behind. It's unclear why the footage is being shot in the first place. Perhaps they heard a strange noise and decided to investigate. Whatever the reason, the girl walks down the stairs and heads outside into the darkness of the night. For a few seconds, the footage is indiscernible. Moments later, something truly bizarre is caught on camera. Watch. As you can see, they're confronted by a creepy large-headed creature peering out from behind a tree. Its face is pale and it has large dark eyes. Its head is pointed at the bottom, giving its face an inverted triangular shape. There's little denying that the creature certainly resembles the classic depiction of an alien grey. Despite this, some viewers believe that the creature perhaps matches this description too obviously, suggesting it could simply be a human in a mask, one perhaps who planned to scare the little girl as part of a prank. Unfortunately, as there's no other information accompanying the video, it seems that this encounter will have to remain a mystery, at least for now. This next video is a compilation of several clips captured by fisherman and TikToker .source90. It documents his time out at sea when a series of strange events began to unfold. The compilation was uploaded to the platform by user Alexander Dodgson1. It begins as we can hear a strange, high-pitched sound coming from the ocean.
I hear him. Where's he at? What the fuck is that noise, bro? What is that noise?
At one point, the poster suggests that there might actually be a voice saying, "Jump for me." The fisherman then retires to his cabin where he begins to hear a mysterious noise as if something's banging on the walls outside. However, when he goes to investigate, there's nothing there. Yet he manages to capture this remarkable footage. Something appears to be swimming alongside his boat. As you can see, there are actually two of them, one on either side of the vessel. The objects move at speed, seemingly able to keep pace with the boat. However, we never get a clear indication as to what they actually might be. In the next clip, the fisherman reveals a strange-looking bone that he claims to have caught in the dredge.
That looks like a tail to me.
Curious to find out what it is, he decides to take it to the marine biology department at the University of Massachusetts. However, after an examination, it seems that the expert is unable to determine what type of animal it actually came from.
Take a photo. Bob asked me to take a photo of it.
Absolutely. You've never seen anything like this?
No. I don't know what it is.
That's crazy.
Several viewers have suggested that this fisherman might have actually encountered mermaids. Also sometimes referred to as sirens, these creatures are known for their high-pitched call. That, along with the figures seen swimming alongside the boat and the discovery of the mysterious bone, all seems to suggest a connection to this creature. While sirens were originally depicted as bird-like in Greek mythology, they were often described as possessing the tail of a fish and the upper body of a woman. It was also thought that their voices could lure sailors into the sea. In Homer's poem The Odyssey, Odysseus is said to have been tied to the mast of his own ship in order to resist the sweet call of the siren's song. So does this footage show evidence of this mythological creature? If so, is it really attempting to lure the fishermen into the sea? This remains an ongoing saga, and there are plenty more mysterious clips that TikToker Source.90 has captured from his boat. As always, I'll leave a link to his account in the description box down below. The following video was posted to Reddit by a user named ChittySock. The footage starts off normally enough as we watch the uploader's girlfriend's sister's daughter and her friend making a video. At first glance, everything seems fairly normal about the footage, but if we watch that again, in the background, a mysterious dark figure can be seen walking around in the house before it eventually disappears without a trace. What makes this video even more unsettling is that there was no one else in the house when the girls were filming. When you slow the footage down, it almost looks as though the entity walking by the two young girls doesn't have any discernible features. The uploader says he has absolutely no idea what this figure is and what it was doing inside the house, but thankfully the two young girls in the video were safe and no harm was done. Was this an intruder or something more paranormal? Either option doesn't bode well. In April 2021, an owner of a homestead in Birch Bay, Washington, captured something truly mysterious on one of his trail cams. He uploaded the footage to his YouTube channel, Jimmy B Trail Cams, for all to see. Take a look. Captured just before 9 PM on one of the trail cams placed deep in the woods, we can see a large figure walk from left to right. Whatever it is, its enormous stature becomes apparent when it lumbers behind a row of trees. Eerily, just a few weeks later in May, 4 trail cams placed around the property went missing. Some viewers speculated that it might just be a hunter in a ghillie suit, and that they spotted the trail cams dotted around the property and decided to steal them. Others thought the footage was just a hoax. However, all the other trail cam footage uploaded to the channel features well-known wildlife like deer and foxes. There's nothing to suggest that this property owner is into pulling pranks. So what do you make of this strange sighting? Could it really be the legendary Bigfoot? Let me know your take on this down below. TikTok user Sergio Luis Reis was just enjoying a nice summer day on a Brazilian beach when he was suddenly interrupted by a jellyfish-like monster that looked like it belonged on another planet. The creature, which had a bulbous head and long tentacles, floated near the surface of the shallow waters just a few yards away from the cameraman. Like any young man in this day and age, he quickly busted out his phone to take a quick video to share on social media. Although the creature seemed to just float near the surface for the duration of the short clip, there's no denying that its presence must have been somewhat unnerving. Several varieties of jellyfish roam the planet's oceans, but the larger varieties typically stay away from shallow waters. So far, no prominent marine biologists have commented on this strange video. There's a good chance that the specimen was simply a sick or injured jellyfish that had lost its sense of direction. This could explain its docile nature and strange appearance. However, it doesn't seem to resemble any extant jellyfish species. Did Sergio Luis Reis come across an entirely new species, or did he just happen to cross paths with an ugly duckling? If it was just an extant species, then why was it so close to the shore? And why haven't similar creatures been spotted near Brazil's extensive coastline? Our first clip of the day was posted to Reddit by user Omar1R03. It's footage of 2 men exploring a collapsed cave system in Jordan. As they approach a filled-in tunnel, take a look at what they see. As one of the men removes several rocks, you can see some kind of face on the other side. It almost looks like a person covered in dust or some kind of disfigured animal. The Redditor who uploaded the clip asked the question whether this could be a ghost or a jinn. According to Arabic folklore, jinns are paranormal beings. They're believed to inhabit an unseen world parallel to our own. It's said that they can cross into our world, but we can't cross into theirs. In some traditions, jinns are malevolent beings who enjoy causing mischief and harm to humans. In other traditions, they're neutral or even benevolent beings that can help or harm humans depending on their mood or whim. They're described as having dark, soulless eyes, sharp claws and teeth with elongated fingers. Reactions to this clip have been varied over on Reddit, but most people were freaked out by the eerie sighting. One plausible explanation suggested it could be a toy doll covered in dirt, and if you slow it down, you can almost see the resemblance. But it's still freaky nonetheless. So what do you think? Is this a jinn, a doll, or could it be some kind of cryptid yet to be classified by modern science? Let us know in the comments down below. Is this yet more footage of the ever-elusive and legendary Loch Ness Monster? 54-year-old Richard Maver was competing in the Great Glen Canoe Challenge in September of 2021 when he accidentally spotted something strange swimming in the waters of Loch Ness. While capturing drone footage for his YouTube channel, Richard Outdoors, the camera picked up something swimming in the shallow waters near the shoreline. At first, Maver didn't notice anything in the water. It wasn't until he uploaded the footage that a few keen-eyed viewers spotted the strange shape. Take a look. As you can see, there's a long object floating in the water. It does indeed resemble the classic depiction of the Loch Ness Monster, a long neck with a broad body and fins. Maver told the Daily Mirror that he couldn't believe what he had captured. He had to rewind the footage several times before the sighting finally sank in. Some analysts have suggested it might just be a log floating in the water, or even an optical illusion caused by the waves. However, Nessie dieharders are certain this is yet another piece of evidence that an ancient cryptid is living in the murky waters of Loch Ness. Our last clip of the day seems to hint at something terrifying lurking in the darkness. Truckie Danny Ramirez was parked at a rest stop in Oregon along Route 97 when he heard something terrifying emanating from the woods nearby. The California local uploaded the footage to his TikTok account, Danny Ramirez 221, for all to see.
What the heck is that? What the absolute heck is that?
An ominous howl echoes through the trees.
Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop.
At a loss to explain the sounds, Danny suggests it could be the roar of a Bigfoot.
And they say Bigfoot isn't real? I don't ever want to stick my arm out the window.
Danny says that after he got done filming, the driver of the adjacent red truck came over asking if he heard the bizarre sounds. Eerily, a lot of viewers said that they too had heard similar howling sounds along Route 97, particularly in Oregon. For decades, the Pacific Northwest in the United States has been a hub of Sasquatch and Bigfoot research. The entire region has had reports of giant ape-like creatures, strange howling sounds, and there's even been evidence of giant footprints left behind in mud found on numerous occasions. One of the earliest and most notorious encounters happened in the summer of 1924, when a group of gold prospectors came out of the forests of Mount St. Helens screaming about an encounter with a pack of tall, hairy bipedal creatures. Fred Beck, Gabe Lefever, John Peterson, Marion Smith, and Smith's son Roy said they were attacked by 4 7-foot-tall gorilla men who threw boulders and howled ferociously. They claimed the creatures were erect and walked much the same way humans do. They were covered in thick black fur, weighing an estimated 400 pounds each. The men allegedly suffered injuries after their camp was bombarded by large stone boulders for several hours in the early morning. The miners managed to escape at first light and alerted authorities of their ordeal as soon as possible. However, after a thorough search of the area, some 8 miles from Spirit Lake, there was no evidence of the creatures at all. Some have suggested the prospectors made the whole story up for fame and fortune. Back on the Ramirez clip, some viewers said the sounds resembled that of a wolf at certain times.
What the absolute heck is that?
other parts, they sound too unique and guttural to be a wolf.
Starting to regret that I stopped at this rest stop.
So are we hearing the secret language of a Bigfoot here in the Ramirez footage? Or is there another way to explain these bizarre haunting howls? Now, if you love creepy videos, then you'll love the rest of our content. You can check out these 2 links here for more. Also, remember to follow us on all our other socials. There's links in the description box below. And that's it for me. I'll see you all next time.